Thanks to Richard Pryor, George Carlin, National Lampoon, and Saturday Night Live, the 70s were one of the richest times in comedy history. Not since the vaudeville era had so many brilliant comedy minds burst on the scene and made their mark on the world. They took the countercultural revolution of the 60s and its rock and roll anarchism and smashed the cream pie right in the face of traditional comedy. The ground laid by Lenny Bruce and Monty Python would now produce this new golden era of modern comedy. Those from the older generation that didn't change their style would be left in the dust. But Rodney Dangerfield, Carl Reiner, and Mel Brooks adjusted and extended their careers another 20 or 30 years. And out of that 70s group, three of the most successful in terms of movie stardom and money made have to be Steve Martin, Robin Williams, and Bill Murray. They came out of the gates like a house on fire, had some down moments along the way, and then came back with a flourish in the early 90s. But they all wanted more than to make people laugh. They wanted to be taken seriously as actors. So they took roles that were in some cases depressingly serious and challenged their fans to join them for the ride. Sometimes they were successful, like Williams in Dead Poets Society, and sometimes they were critical darlings but had their fans scratching their heads, like Bill Murray in Rushmore. But after all this seriousness, they thought they could just turn the funny back on like a faucet. Sometimes it works if the script is right, sometimes it doesn't. Because I believe we are used to them being this wild and crazy person, the guy you always want to invite to your parties. And when you realize that it was all just an act, that there is a normal person under there, it takes away a lot of the magic, and it's very hard to laugh with that person again. Comedy is part magic trick, and these comedians have been all too willing to let you see the man behind the curtain. And unfortunately, this desire to be serious has rubbed off on the next generation, like Jim Carrey, and now he's having a hell of a time being funny again. So now Robin Williams and Steve Martin are making comedies, trying to revive this magic they once had, and are leaving us feeling embarrassed for them. I mean, Pink Panther 1 should never have been released, but Pink Panther 2? Did Steve Martin lose a bet? And Bill Murray, who knows what's going on with him? He's not even trying to be funny anymore, and honestly, he's not that interesting as a serious actor. If he wasn't Bill Murray, could you have even watched Lost in Translation? I mean, how gross was that? A 55-year-old married man hitting on a 17-year-old. I know she was supposed to be 22 in the movie, but she was really just 17. If you think, oh, this happens to every old comedian and comic actor. Not always. George Burns, Walter Matthau, Groucho Marx, and Red Fox were all very funny into their old age. I pee every time I watch the Sunshine Boys. But of the three, I think Bill Murray has the best chance to revive his comedy career if he wants. But first he has to ditch this pretentious Wes Anderson. Writer-director Wes Anderson has made Bill a critical darling, but killed his fan base with these senseless dramedies that leave you shaking your head. Did you ever see the Royal Tenenbaums? Try and figure it out. Bill, let me tell you, about 70 actors have won a Best Actor Oscar, but only about 5 have ever made me laugh like you do. I'd rather be in the top 5 than be in the top 70. So, Star Wars. Nothing but Star Wars from the front of the